Tech rerun those numbers based upon the cost inflation? Because
you can do that, but what Stantec does is essentially out 20 years, gives you a flat line or a 5% increase, which is what's built into the water and sewer rates already. The real question is, when do the additional dollars become due, or do you need to fund them? And I don't think it's just going to be a straight line 5% over the next 20 years. I just don't. And that's just my gut. I don't have any basis for that. I have no facts. But given what I understand is, if the first 200 million is this far out of whack, and Paul's number I think was 100 million, that's a 50% increase on the first tranche. And so if you're going to have Stantec run the model for you again, don't let them simply run the 5% that's already built into the sewer rates, because it's not going to be enough. It's just not. And I'm not sure that you should spend the money or burn their time until staff has come back to you and given you some sort of idea, which they may or may not be able to do right now, is what it is they anticipate the cost inflation is going to be, and when is the additional bonding capacity going to need to be exercised. And it's just, if Stantec comes back and says it's 5% over the next 20 years, I'll stop whining about it. I just don't believe that's what it is. And so when you make these decisions, when you review the modifications of the consent order, and you've seen 5 more projects as a function of simply the analysis based on the data that the robots went and got.
Yeah.
Those weren't included in the first cost estimate.
But they were included in the Reese report. Those 5, my understanding, and correct me, Raj, if I'm wrong, all of those projects were online and were anticipated to be done at some point. What the amendment to the consent order does is it brings them forward. Am I reading that correctly? So it's not a question of we need more money. It's a question of we need more money faster, perhaps.
Sooner, yes, absolutely. Yes. And I don't know whether or not Reese, given that they didn't have the data from the robots inside the pipes, whether or not they considered that in the quote Cadillac plan, unquote. I'll defer to Raj as to whether or not they anticipated the need for those improvements.
Okay, well, can I suggest that we are going to have on our next agenda as one of the action items that was Anisha put down. So we're going to start to take a hard look at these dollars now, based upon this additional amount of work that needs to be done in an accelerated fashion. So thank you, David, for bringing that up and for pushing us in that direction. Was there anything else you wanted to say?
Just you can go to the bond market and fund whatever it is that you need based on the rate base, the rate base. Okay, you don't have any problem with that. The question is, what are the users going to have to pay to support that debt? And gotcha. It's been 5% a year for however many years. It's going to be more than that, and there will come a time when that creates political pain.
Oh, well, remember when we were discussing this originally? There will come a time when somebody can't pay that bill.
Correct.
There will come a time when we're going to have to be talking about subsidizing people's bills, because otherwise they can't stay in Fort Lauderdale.
I agree.
We hope that would be down the road a long way, but perhaps it's accelerating more than we know. Thank you very much, David, and do hang with us, because we need all the infrastructure nerds we can get.
All right, I'll try to sit on the sidelines. Thank you
so much. Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 4:52. Unless there's any other, yes, Peter. Can someone unmute Peter?
Peter can unmute himself.
I don't think Anisha had completed her list of things to come back to us, because David.
There was one more item, which was the owner's rep for 5 Ash project. So that was the additional item that I had there. And the items that David was just referring to was already included on my list of items to come back to you on.
And how did you write that, Anisha, that last point?
Which one? Are you referring to the cost, or referring to the owner's rep?
No, the cost.
In regards to the cost, I'm looking at the bond expenditure update. So we can actually come back and provide you with how much we've actually spent of the bond, of the $200 million, how much is left to be spent, how much do we need, when do we need to pull the next tranche, which I believe is scheduled for 2023. But basically kind of looking at the CIP and identifying when we're going to have those drawdowns and how much more do we need and what, and kind of laying that out.
Yes, but it's also in the context of now we've already experienced some significant cost increases based on bid contracts compared to estimates from 4 or 5 years ago.
Right. So
Okay.
that goes back to looking at the CIP to determine if the 200 million for the next tranche, what does that cover? Do we have enough funding in the next tranche to cover those projects that are included within the next 5 years? So it goes back to how much is needed, when is it needed, and how much do we have left? So basically a whole comprehensive look at all of those dollars and when we need them.
I think
Raj?
Anisha,
Can't hear you, Raj.
you can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. What I was thinking that based on Paul's comments and what Dave was saying, that it may be necessary to revisit the entire estimate prepared by Reese.
Yep.
And find out where it is, such that in the event, that would answer Marilyn's question as well, about, are we going to be driving people out of Fort Lauderdale or what? So I think it may be, given the increases that we have had, we just want to make sure whether we are fast forwarding the same projects but they have got higher cost or what needs to be done. So let's kind of, put that task on Stantec to revisit their entire proposal.
Just quickly, Raj, and you must know this better than me, there was a significant increase in those 2 big force main projects partly because, in my view, they were actually implemented in quite a technologically advanced fashion in order to minimize disruption to the neighborhoods. But nonetheless, the general point remains.
Yes.
Okay, all right, well, guys, 4:55, we have to get off here before they push us off again. We only have 3 hours. Yes, Pauline, you had one more thing?
Yes, the last thing on the agenda to discuss when the next meeting will be.
Oh, well, it's the third Monday. The third Monday at 2 o'clock.
Oh, so you're going
you want to keep it at that time.
Yeah, we decided to keep it at this time and on this date. As we go forward, we might want to rethink that again, because this is so much information and such good information that I wish really we had we could get this information out to more people, because so much work is being done. So many things are on the line here. I don't think you guys are getting nearly enough credit for the amount of work that you're doing. And I think we can make people feel a little more comfortable about what's happening if they just know more. It's hard, it's a pandemic, it's hard, but we might want to revisit that at our next meeting again. Yeah. All right, so if no one has any objection.
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir.
For the consent form, the oath of office form, do that come up to the 4th floor if you bring it downstairs to be notarized?
No, you can actually contact Erica and she would actually come out to you, because City Hall is closed to the public.
You mean at City Hall?
Yes.
Okay. You got a number for Erica?
Yes, I'll call you after the meeting and give it to you.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Everybody have a good day. Be safe.
Okay, we're going to have to take it. Peter, one more last question, quickly.
I'm making a motion to adjourn.
Oh, bless you. Second.
Madam Chair, before you take that motion.
Second.
No, wait. Pauline had a suggestion for a work plan, and I would like to send it to you to take a look at it so that we can actually stay on, get a lot of things accomplished. But there was a work plan that you may have used in the beginning of last time. So we can actually have kind of chart and stat of each of the different projects we're going to work on.
Okay, I would suggest that if that doesn't take a whole hell of a lot of your time and takes you away from other projects, like building sewers, go to it. But we did that last time.
It didn't work.
We didn't have much luck with sticking with it. Maybe we'll have better luck this time.
Okay.
Okay, all right, thank you. The motion's on the floor to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody saying no? Hearing no nos, the meeting is adjourned. Happy to see all of you again and looking forward to keeping working with you. Bye-bye.
Hi, Rod.